Cheers, everybody. Baseball starts today. Yeah, we got a game today, Cubs and Dodgers, and I'm fired up about it. We're going to talk about the closer of the Cubs. Who is that guy right now? Or is there someone else that they might bring in? Are there some more moves coming? And baseball, it's back. Who does this Cubs team remind me of? Maybe it reminds me of a team from a movie. Is there a guy named Willie Mays Hayes on this team? How about Ricky Vaughn? Kind of has that, a little bit of that major league type feel, doesn't it? And maybe that's a good thing. We're going to talk about it. Cubs Baseball Channel. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Baseball. Let's go. Oh, it's a special day. It's not opening day, but it's the first day, and it's spring training. And look, I've spent many years out there in Arizona calling these games. They're special. They're fun. You got a bunch of guys that are, trying to make an impression on the manager and on the front office. And then a lot of guys that are just trying to ease into the season. So good luck to everyone. As I'm not expecting – and I think really from reports, don't expect to see a whole lot of stars, if any. Maybe Michael Busch, Cody Poteet, the guy that the Cubs got in the sell-off of Cody Bellinger to the Yankees. But for the most part, it's going to be a bunch of guys who were minor leaguers, and that's fine. It'll be fun. So go Cubs. And we got baseball, and so that's really awesome. All right, let's talk about the closer position because I feel like this is something that isn't set yet, and I feel like it could be something that changes if the Cubs got the right deal. And we talked about that. But who's going to trade their closer right now? I mean, that's the question that you have to ask yourself as spring training games. So here's the in-house guys who you could say, okay, they've got the inside track to be the closer. It's going to be one of these two guys if nothing changes and both of these guys go into the regular season healthy, right? And one of those is right-hander Porter Hodge. He was the closer last year. Now, I know he's a young guy. I mean, this will be his first full season in the big leagues, but he did a pretty good job of it. It was kind of a little scary that he said he thought he had a heart attack on the field because the pressure got to him, but he handled it, right? I mean, who wouldn't be a little nervous out there trying to get the final 3 outs of a baseball game? But I've been around Hodge. He's got good stuff. It worked obviously last year, and he'll be a year older, and hopefully he's ready to be that guy. But I would say the odds-on favorite right now are Ryan Pressly. Cubs traded the Astros to get him. He's a former closer, only lost his job with the Astros because they went out and signed Josh Hader, who's one of the best in the business. And so, he came over. He had to, turn down that no trade clause to come to the Cubs. Obviously he's in the mix for this job. And if the Cubs don't get the right guy, and I'm talking about somebody spectacular, I'm guessing that it's going to be Pressly with a little help from Hodge, right? But what about this? I love Bleacher Nation. I read their stuff every day. And they had a couple of relievers listed that I thought were worth bringing up. One of those guys is 39-year-old David Robertson. And I mean, I'm looking at this bullpen, and they make me feel young. I mean, this is a veteran group, and that doesn't mean that the guys can't go out there and get the job done. Now, I've told you guys on this channel many times that analytics are great, but they're not the be-all, end-all of success when it comes to baseball. It's about making pitch location, knowing batters, keeping them off balance, throwing strikes. There's a lot more to it than just what your spin rate is, what the shape of your pitch looks like and your velocity. And so with some of these guys, they'll be able to overpower batters. But for the most part, this veteran group they're just good at getting outs. I mean, you're talking about Pressly and Theo Barr and Colin Ray. I mean, you go through the list and there's a bunch of dudes that are up there in age. So would that mean that, hey, we're kind of going this direction? Let's bring back David Robertson. So he's still a free agent. And even though he's not the closer that he once was. Maybe he's someone that the Cubs could sign right now, and get him for not so much. Is this the kind of move that would help the team? And that's what I'm saying. Like, it kind of has that major league vibe. Remember the movie Major League? Like the the old catcher's in bed, and the manager calls him, and he thinks that it's a prank call. He's like, I'm waiting on the line for some white wall. No, it's the manager gets a call while he's sitting tires from the GM, and he asks him if he wants to be a manager. And he's like, he hung up on him. He thought it was a fake call. And the catcher can't run because his knees are bad. You got the guy that's, at third base that doesn't want to bend down, and field the ball. And they come together as a team. There's a bunch of old guys and some young guys, and they put them together. I hope that's what happens. I hope this is the Cubs version of the movie Major League, right? And it ends with the Cubs beating the Dodgers, right, to get into the World Series. I mean, how fantastic would that be? But the season's going to start with the Dodgers. It'd be great if it ended with the Dodgers with wins. It's going to start today against the Dodgers, and then obviously in Japan against the Dodgers. And I think the Cubs just about announced it's going to be Shota and Steele against Yamamoto and Sasaki. But I said that anyway. I don't think I'm a genius for saying that. Now, what about David Robertson? I just don't see this as a realistic option. But when you look at his numbers, look, the guy pitched 68 games last year for Texas, and he had a 3 ERA, right? I mean, so not so bad. I mean, he wasn't a closer. I mean, he only had 2 saves. There was a time, remember when he was with the Yankees? You remember when he was at the White Sox? He was so good, 15 and 16. The guy had a ton of saves. Most of his career were on the South Side. And, you look through, he's had 177 saves, but only 6 the last couple of years. And he's become a journeyman. I mean, really, like the Cubs had him in 22. They traded him for Ben Brown. He went to Philadelphia. And then, from Philadelphia to the Mets, to the Marlins, to Texas. But I love it. The guy's been in the big leagues for 16 years. So he's doing something right. He's still got a little something left in the tank. And him and I went to the same school. So I'm pulling for him, but I don't know if this is the right fit for the Cubs right now. And I definitely don't see him as an option to close. And the other part of it is that this 40-man roster is getting really thin. I mean, you can't give up all your young players for veterans because you have to win now. That's the mentality that you put a front office in when they know that if they don't win, they're out, right? And that's really the case for the Cubs at this time. Now, the other thing that I think it was Brett put up there that was interesting, I love Brett's stuff, is he was talking about a guy that I think we would all love to see back. And it's not necessarily because he's going to come in and do anything spectacular on the mound, but the Cubs lost Rob Zastryzny, lefty reliever. I don't know that Zastryzny was going to be anything spectacular. Big Luke Little is injured, trying to come back from that. He's still, even if he comes back, he's still got to be more consistent throwing strikes, but he's a guy we really like. Caleb Thielbar is another veteran, guy's 38 years old. Former Cub Brandon Hughes, talked about him a couple days ago. He's back. It's a minor league deal. And then Riley Martin. I love Riley Martin. I think I've seen him a bunch. He's got long hair and beard, my kind of guy. I just don't know if he's ready. The spring training could really help him as far as just recognition with the front office and with the manager and the coaching staff. Like if he goes out there, Riley Martin, and does what I've seen him do in the past, he's got a chance to be someone that the Cubs look to. But if none of those guys, what about Andrew Chafin? Remember him? Came to town, bought a Camaro. He was driving around Chicago in. He's a fun guy. He's got the big beard, the big mustache, real thick mustache. I love mustaches. I even had one, but everybody complained about it and made me cut it. I think I think having a good mustache is great for the younger generation. If you rock a mustache, then it's probably something you established a long time ago, or you're younger. Because I tried to do it. I pulled it off, and you guys saw it on the channel, but I got more complaints than people saying, hey, I really like that. Chafin, he pulls it off. He's left-handed. I don't know whose spot you would give him, on the 40 man. And, and like the story talks about, I mean, a 3.51 ERA in his last 56 plus innings. Does have a great strikeout rate. He's such a good fit, though, for the bullpen. And he'd be somebody that would be fun to have on the team. And the Cubs need left-handed pitching. So maybe he's a guy. I've heard his name come up a few times as far as possible guys that the Cubs sign. And what's going to happen is these two guys, Robertson, Chafin, they're out there right now. Somebody's going to get hurt, and then these guys are going to take their spot. So there's a team out there that's like, hey, man, and then we got this, and then you're going to have some guys get hurt here. It happens every spring, and then these two guys will be signed because they'll be available, right? And so I don't know if that's going to be with the Cubs or not. Now, the final thing I want to talk about, not only that the Cubs play the Dodgers today, but the more I look into this, the more I'm kind of surprised that the Cubs brought in Justin Turner, and it doesn't look like they really expect him to play third base. That to me is baffling. Like, I don't understand this. Like, maybe I'm wrong. But our friend Patrick Mooney in his story, now they think he's going to play first and DH, right? Is that taking pressure off him, or is it because he can't play third anymore? And the reason I say that is if Shaw stinks, or he's still hurt, or he can't play, or he struggles, then who are you putting at third? And that's the question. There's not a whole lot of other guys that you can put there. But for him, he's only played 90 innings over the last 2 seasons, 13 games. So, okay, there you go. We'll see. But as I said before, he's played almost 1,000 games at third. So, is it possible for him to pull that off or not? Thank you guys for being part of the show. I'm tipping this one to Harry Carey as a kid watching the Cubs every day on WGN. And, he was a Bud man and a Cubs fan, right? Well, this isn't our official opening day, but it's pretty darn close. So I'm happy about it. And we'll be covering it. We'll be watching some baseball today. How exciting is that? All right, thanks. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, get in the comments section. Thank you guys for making this channel a part of your day. We've had again, I can't tell you how cool it is to see all the views that we've had. And we're growing every day, and it's because of you. So like, subscribe, thumbs up. We'll talk some Cubs baseball tomorrow unless something else breaks. But let's win a game, even though no one will ever remember if we do, because it's spring training. Go Cubs.